get it.
It was pretty close. You know, I think Conbox might have actually won that one.
Do
well,
you?
As always, the ear-piercing, I was going to say screams, but we'll say cheers from the Lunatic-Hai fans.
I mean, you could scream while cheering. It's
That's
fine.
true. They're just very passionate.
They're very passionate, very loud, and this is the kind of energy that Lunatic-Hai has had behind them ever since their really impressive run in APAC, their success, of course, in Gyeonggi. But this team is really solid. If they could pull it together here with the fans behind them, would continue their run and have the Luxury Watch Blue match coming up. Guido is going to be on the Tracer this time as Eska's on his more normal Soldier for the map here. And Architect is going to be the Genji player for Conbox Spirit, of course, with Asher on the Tracer. So standard dive, basically exactly what you would expect from Conbox Spirit.
Gamsu's just pushing right in here. Look at that ult percentage coming up as he just saps multiple members of Lunatic-Hai, building up towards that. Primal Rage very swiftly. Point unlocks. Cap initially being taken here by Lunatic-Hai with very little contest. They might actually just find this one. Eska getting jumped on, drops down the Biotic Field to keep himself alive as Gamsu's just trying to disrupt in the back line. Gamsu around the back, but might have bitten off more than he can chew. He will go down.
Almost had the Primal Rage there, so he built that ult much faster than Miro, but pays for it with his life. And Conbox Spirit will, of course, pay for this with the first cap going down to Lunatic-Hai. So first cap's obviously so important, even if you have the ult advantage temporarily. There's so many different tools you can use to buy time to secure the point, build up a larger ult economy to take it. So nice start here for Lunatic-Hai. Gamsu, we've seen him on this map many times with Ana, actually, Twilight on the Ana, to actually use that nano boost, even without the Primal Rage to secure this point. But Twilight's going to be playing this time on this Zenyatta, so not going to see that same really tough Winston dive with the nano support.
I mean, he's showing a lot of respect to Miro. Wants to be able to pop the Discord door bottom. Speaking of popping something, the Primal Rage comes through here from Gamsu, and he has just got Eska stuck in a corner. But Eska still has not died. Nano boost comes through. They're trying to keep him alive. They might have just done it. No, the last hit will come through, and Gamsu follows up for the double kill. Toby goes down as well, so both supports dead. On the side of Lunatic-Hai as Conbox tries to clean up. The flip on the point hasn't come through yet. Will now be finding it. Just shy of 50% is Lunatic-Hai.
Gonna see the Diva resets here in the pit.
Yeah, just jumping in.
Yeah. No, it's not a happy place down there, but you get your mech back. So a win here for Conbox Spirit now. They have really similar ults, obviously, to their opponents, but it's Gamsu who's doing the heavy lifting, as we see him do so many times on this map. Even before Winston was the go-to hero, when Reinhardt was more meta, we still saw Gamsu come to this map and go to town. Okay, we're going to see Architect finds a dive here into the support. Sound Barrier is going to protect him. He has a Dragon Blade. Won't necessarily need it here, though.
He has not used it yet. They will go ahead and push forward. Eska goes down. Nice little pick up there by Sleepy Bear. Miro popping that Primal Rage. We've seen how much work he's been able to do on this map in the past, but falls way too low, and Architect is there to clean up the kill. And Conbox Spirit going to be holding on, tying the percentage here, 46, and advancing beyond Lunatic-Hai. Self-destruct thrown out there by Zumba, not going to find anything for his trouble. Will be able to re-enter unhindered. That's right. Flip still has not come through.
So Asher, one of these players, sorry, not Asher, Architect, one of these players, hold that thought, here comes Attack Visor. Eska finds the demeched Diva, but isn't going to be able to find anything else with this one, unfortunately, so big commitment of resources there.
Pulse Bomb comes out, finds the stick here onto Oborochi. Meanwhile, Asher takes care of Ryujay Hong. There's just going to be an exchange of the supports here, back and forth. Lunatic-Hai looking for that retake, nearly have it, will be able to get it. Nobody able to tag into the point and delay it long enough, but 75% accrued there for Conbox, so a very nice hold by them. Still have the Dragon Blade, and there's no Zenyatta on the side of Lunatic-Hai to deny that damage from coming through.
Can feel the focus here from Lunatic-Hai. Eska very much calm there, just even standing still for a moment as he gets his kind of ideas about where people are moving. Looking to target down Architect, nearly gets the pick there.
He goes dangerously though, has to kite out of there to get himself back to safety.
Another
Meanwhile,
dive.
Gamsu goes in, Sleep Dart connects in onto him, he goes low, and the Helix Rockets finish him off. Eska, nice accuracy coming through, follows up for the kill in onto Architect as he flips over to the side, catches him from behind, and that is going to be a massive delay here for Lunatic-Hai as they approach overtime, 82%.
And that's the Eska play that gets the big cheers. That's why in the highlight clips he was the loudest one. Having that more consistent would be so amazing for Lunatic-Hai, but they get it where it matters here on this first point of Ilos. Only the Dragon Blade here. They're going to have the Transcendence in just a second. Conbox looking for this. See if they dive in. Looking for the pick on the Winston first.
Yeah, they're trying to knock down Miro, maybe even force out the Primal Rage, which is exactly what's going to happen. Discord Orb is still on him, and now Overtime actually ticking in. Somebody's got to tag onto the point. Somebody jumps in, finally gets it, and the Transcendence will come through as Twilight escorts his team in onto this point.
Here's the Dragon Blade.
Architect draws it out. The sound barrier immediately comes down. He's still slicing his way through, but he just can't get to the real meat of their HP, and he's going to go down. The Tag Visor from Eska on the backside of the fight comes up with a kill. He'll be drawing the full attention of Kongdoo here with the Primal Rage, and will just be running back to keep himself safe now. Tag-ins onto the point, just trying to extend it, but nobody's there to follow up. Way too deep on the chase from Kongdoo, just trying to finish off Eska on the Soldier. Not there to delay on the point, and Lunatic-Hai take it on well.
They also didn't use the Dragon Blade together with the Transcendence. The Transcendence protected Architect as he went in, but he didn't drop the Dragon Blade. They got greedy. They wanted to have the massive swing in the fight. That's why they had Kongdoo dive in so deep, because they were hoping to pop more defensive ultimates coming out from Lunatic-Hai, so you get the clean sweep when the Dragon Blade came out. But as you said, he dove too deep and he chose chased too far. So point one will be taken from Lunatic-Hai. Not the cleanest map for either team. Lunatic-Hai really stepped up, especially Eska, with the accuracy there on the Soldier. You talk to anybody in Korea, and even EnVyUs spoke to you about this, one of the players that secretly no one really respects right now outside of the pro scene, that everyone's talking about in Korea, though, as being a great player, is Architect on the Genji, though. If you give him the tools to work with, the Transcendence is a little bit better time. Perhaps he has a Sound Bear or the Nano Boost. He's going to show some good Dragon Blades in this series. For sure.
Yeah, he's definitely the highlight of the DPS as far as Conbox is concerned. Asher has had some performances, but overall it's just kind of been the passive one, the more consistent, but never really shining in these fights. Kongdoo yet again leaping in, building up a lot of ulti. As I say, that Asher is going to find that first blood, taking down Eska, but Jaehong actually takes out Architect right before dying as Kongdoo gets the leap in. A nice little trade back, but Conbox Spirit very much winning in on the fight. Post gets two! Kongdoo and Oporochi both go down. Guido finally finding some ground to stand on. Will die in the end, but by God, what a beautiful stick. Cap comes through for Conbox Spirit, but right off the bat, Zuma charging back in to try to contest this, but without his team backing him up, seems to be a bit of a poor decision, so he just jumps off to get the reset. Conbox will be ticking this up for now.
I mean, you can see the impressive mechanics of Guido here with the pulse bomb, but unfortunately with him being the last man standing on a pile of bones of the rest of his team, it doesn't matter when he gets the stick. Zumba dashing back in gets the desynced respawn, so these are issues now for Lunatic-Hai as Conbox Spirit just continues to build up a better ult economy.
Asher, doesn't find the stick. Toby immediately swapping over into that speed boost to keep himself safe. Here the Nano Boost has come through from the side of Twilight. White Shoe is thrown on, it's going to be Kongdoo pushing forward, now has the Primal Rage in a very contained spot.
Does dive away.
Get some smacks around there, but won't be coming up with too much. Meanwhile, Eska finds the kill on the Sleepy Bear with Attack Visor, and Asher wins out on the Tracer battle.
So much
still eluded Lunatic-Hai.
So much peeling coming out from Kongdoo, so much time buying. The flip should come out through here for Lunatic-Hai, but they built it up to nearly 60% with this.
When the poops come through, Architect gonna go down. Toby plus the Diva means that he goes flying off the map. They finally flipped it, but 58% there for Conbox. Not too many ultimates to work with, whereas Lunatic-Hai are about to have 5 to defend this point.
Yeah, really only Eska's Tac Visor being used in that last fight to secure this, so he got the double there. Knocking Sleepy Bear out of the mech was huge for them. And have a nice edge here. Even though they lost the first point, they've really handled it quite well in terms of ult economy and the time bank. You know, looking for really aggressive picks back here. Unfortunately, nothing to find. Architect's going to pop the Dragon Blade. Transcendence to match it, though.
Yeah, Jaehong's there, and you can see Architect just has to peel back. He has to sacrifice that entire ultimate. Meanwhile, the sound barrier comes down here from Toby, just trying to keep everybody topped off, and as they chase in onto Asher, they will be able to kill him. Zumba coming up with the basically double kill, helping to take Sleepy Bear out of that mech, finished off by Guido. And Lunatic-Hai now dominating the point. About to be tied up at around 58%. Conbox Spirit need some eco pushes.
Yeah,
trying to get these ultimates
it's for
coming
Architect
through.
really, because he went in with a Dragon Blade unprotected when Nano Boost was almost ready, when the Sound Barrier was almost ready, but these things were missing in that last fight, and now that they're ready, he doesn't have the Dragon Blade, so we might see Kongdoo get boosted here. We've seen it a lot on this map from Conbox Spirit, so we'll see if that's their game plan here.
Oh, really well timed there by Guido, knowing exactly where Asher was going to end up. finishes him off now. Trying to find the kill there onto Overwatch. He's able to make it over to the high ground, keep himself alive. Destruct gets tossed out, not going to find any kills, but Eska is being dealt with again. And Kongdoo just obsessed with that soldier. Has to be the one that takes him out. Finds it this time, except
they
still
don't get the flip,
Lunatic-Hai, yeah, they still tick up.
And they used both support ultimates, both the sound barrier and the nano boost, so unfortunately they don't have those.
Kongdoo's about to respawn. Just now coming up, 96%. They have to get in there. Asher dashes through. Gets booped off, has to use the recall.
A bit too
Overwatch
early.
is in, Pulse Bomb comes through, not gonna find anything. The Primal Rage is popped out by Miro, just trying to gatekeep multiple members into the sauna.
They need to get someone in there.
Dart. That's a massive one here for the side of Conbox Spirit. They finally pile in as Kongdoo makes it back onto the point, but he's so dangerously low, he will die in the end. As Zumba comes up with a double kill, Overwatch taken out, and Jaehong is gonna go ahead, pop that Transcendence as they finish off Architect.
That's the map.
Just like that, Lunatic-Hai take that first win on Ilos.
Toby again, I want to highlight Toby because we talk about Lucio players sometimes being low impact, right? They buy a lot of time, do a lot of damage. We talked about Harry's, Lucio specifically, how good his accuracy is, how much damage he did. Toby with really good time buying tactics there, as well as several boops that were quite key in the team fights, which gave an ult lead several times to Lunatic-Hai because they got kills, they got picks without using ultimates. And for Conbox Spirit, they committed to the Genji quite heavily, and we talked about how good of a Genji Architect is, especially as Dragon Blades when he has the healing ultimates paired with him, with the supports. At the end of that map, he just never could find that pairing. The ults were used opposite of each other each and every time. They committed the nano boost and the sound barrier to Gamsu. He couldn't find anything there. Perhaps was better used for Architect, who had already used his Dragon Blade without the ultimates before, so kind of bad synergy, the lack of synergy there for Conbox on the ultimates, I think, was ultimately what failed them, especially when they had the worst ult economy than what Lunatic-Hai used.
Yeah. I mean, aside from the large percentage accrued by Conbox Spirit is kind of making Lunatic-Hai look like Afreeca Freecs Blue with their ultimate use. Like, they're using them one at a time, trying to say, like, okay, you know what, how many do we need to invest in order to win this fight? And usually it's not many. Whereas Conbox is just kind of vomiting their ultimates onto the screen, hoping to God that they come up with a result. And sure, it gets them a first cap, and then they build up some percentage. Maybe they hold for a little bit, up to about 60%, but then they lose out in the end. Lunatic-Hai just end up taking Ilos. But now second map, our hybrid, will be Hollywood, selected by Conbox Spirit. But they need to turn things around. This is how things went the last two times they played against LW Blue. Well, they would actually win, rather, on the first control and then lose out the next three. So maybe we just see a 3-0 from here.
Could be. As we go into game number 2, can Conbox Spirit bring it back, or is Lunatic-Hai going to go to match point? Let's go into Hollywood.
I get it.
You know, this is a map we've seen a decent amount of Sombra play, both on the defense, especially in the case of EnVyUs. They've used it here a lot. We've seen Sombra on attack with Talon compositions here on Hollywood, so not as common as on maps like Anubis, for example, but something we could see here. This is the map pick of Conbox Spirit. We didn't get to see Twilight's Sombra. Eska's on the Sombra currently for defense, which is actually not a huge shocker, as Rujong will be sticking with the Ana instead.
Thought maybe we would see the triple support coming through just to try to get that 100% hold, but it's not the best selection for who the third player would be. So they do just want to go ahead and stick with the double DPS. Let's go on the Sombra, as you say.
Gamsu teases the Talon with the Reaper, but obviously he wouldn't be the one playing the Reaper. It would likely be Architect or Asher. So
no, they're just going to run solo tank as D.Va. It'd be amazing.
Sadly not the case. He will switch over to the Winston, so straight up dive against the defensive Sombra here. 2-2-2. The lack of Soldier. Just want to use the hacks and the flanking for EMP defenses.
Keep our eyes on Eska, see how he's going to play around this. See what side he's going to be playing too, because right now, Conbox Spirit just wrapping around the backside of the point on that left flank. try to insert themselves in, start that cap rolling through. Asher, gonna get caught, goes very low, force out the recall already as they start trying to push in onto the point.
Okay, here we go. Already Eska at 32%. Hack going on to Sleepy Bear. Not going to stop him from helping the kill onto Toby.
Toby's the first one to go down as that Sleepy Bear helps take him out.
Maybe the nickname of some of the Lunatic-Hai fangirls, but unfortunately he does end up dying here.
Just combining some names there for a moment. Conbox don't come up with some crucial picks as they finish off Eska. They get that first tick rolling through. Looks like the second one, and they might even just get the full cap right off the bat. And it seems like that might be the case because Architect, he is having a day out right now with his staple Genji. So sorry, Toby Bear.
Toby Bear.
Can't do a damn thing.
So Eska now has the EMP, but didn't have it when it mattered most. He was sitting at 33% when the push hit. You need to be able to buy more time consistently with the Sombra composition when you're running the 2-2-2 with it. You need to buy enough time to get that first EMP, using an aggressive position to get the hacks, to get the health packs, getting those respawns. Unfortunately, you didn't get that. And this is Eska's first televised game of Sombra, and so far, again, not so impressive. They just really, Conbox Spirit dealt with it handily, and they didn't have the time they needed to build the EMP. He has it now. Looks like he wants to save it to at least stop this second checkpoint.
Well, that is going to be the Nano Blade drawn out here by Architect. He is decently low, but now the sound barrier on top of it means he's that much safer. Finishes off Jae Hong. Hasn't quite found much else. Will be able to pop Zumba out of the mech right at the end and help confirm that kill. But a pretty big investment from the side of Conbox Spirit. They don't gain that much for it, but the payload is at least moving.
Will Eska switch is the big question here. He takes his hand off the keyboard for a moment as he is picked off yet again. He's going to switch to the Soldier. This is a reasonable choice. He wasn't going to have an EMP in time for this next push. He's not going to have TAC Visor obviously either, but the consistency of Eska is always in question, but definitely not as good on the Sombra as the Soldier from what we've seen so far.
I mean, he should have had the EMP as soon as the Nano boost came through. Could have denied that Dragon Blade.
Yeah, just too late on that, unfortunately.
Yeah, really late on the trigger. Sound barrier does come through here by Toby. He has to drop it down the wall. Eventually hits it, but Jae Hong has already fallen. Eska finishes off Gamsu. Getting rid of one of those tanks. It's going to be a nice little crucial pickup for him, but they need so much more to deny this push coming through, because right now 3:45 on the clock, and just in front of point B already. Self-destruct from Sleepy Bear does find Miro. Well, poor positioning there from the Winston. Couldn't get himself out to safety in time. But for now, it seems like Conbox will be staved off.
Yeah, they're staved off for now, but the really critical Nano Blade is going to be the next tactic here.
Another boost as they throw it in on the Gamsu. You go straight into the back line, trying to get rid of these supports. Finds Jae Hong, who swapped over onto that Zenyatta. And Eska falls as well. So maybe this is the push. A self-destruct thrown out here by Zumba. However, and Gamsu, just like that, will get picked off. So it seems like the Winstons are just very susceptible to those self-destructs at the moment. And Zumba will just go straight back into the mech and start shoving people off that payload yet again.
We've been seeing so much aggressive dive from Gamsu to have these primal rages more often. Eska pops attack, unfortunately. No one's even nearby, but going back to our original point, as the Escalals pop off in the chat, Gamsu's been really very aggressive. He's had more primal rages than Miro so far this game.
Cost him a lot. That's going to be the sound barrier coming down with the Dragon Blade, and Jae Hong yet again gets picked off. Sleepy Bear finds the kill. Asher with the pulse bomb, ready to go. Trying to find a target. Could Asher throw it in onto that Diva mech, but wants to just try to pop it by itself. Will be able to do so. Throws out the bomb, finds Toby, takes him down, and Conbox Spirit starting to win the fight. Miro will pop the primal rage to try to delay. Sleep Dart comes through, but they will wake him back up immediately. Maybe not the best decision, but they wanted him away from the payload all the same. And looks like they might just get the completion here as Gamsu pops his own ult and it's just wreaking havoc inside the studio.
For the respawns to be staggered here. Looks like it is going to be an escape there for Toby, luckily for Lunatic-Hai. They do have a lot of ults available to use here. Unfortunately, the Winston ultimate there just not really useful at all, so that's something that's missing from their arsenal to use right now, but the push continues. It's been solid so far. But going back to my original point, Gamsu just feels like he has primal rage more often. Sometimes it looks silly when he dives in and he dies, but when it works out, it pays off in dividends. He's been protected really well by Twilight, who has more nanos. She's been nano boosting him again on the Winston, rather than nano boosting Architect for the Blades.
Yeah, that's going to be the sound barrier out here from the side of Lunatic-Hai as they try to stay alive. Architect just holding on to that Dragon Blade yet again, waiting for the shield to expire before he draws it out. Big deflect comes through. It's not going to be enough to save his life, though, as Zumba dashes through, gets the boot to kill him. So a decent opening here for Lunatic-Hai to try to posture further forward. The self-destruct will disrupt that. No kills coming down here for Sleepy Bear as he re-enters, and they actually force out the Transcendence from Jae-Hong, and Architect still has that Dragon Blade, so Lunatic-Hai really playing with fire with his ultimate usage. You can see the Transcendence goes down, Dragon Blade comes through, Architect finds one, but everybody immediately turns on to him, and Zumba takes him out yet again.
They're going to need to back off here. Eska's going to wipe them when the defense matrix goes down. Still sticking around a little bit longer here, however. Looks like they're finally going to get away. So, Conbox Spirit, they did force a lot of ultimates out with that last push. While it's about to have that very important nano, will he use it on Gamsu? The answer is yes. He's got the Primal Rage, so can use this attack first and use that for survivability. There's the big Primal.
Hit onto Jae-Hong, smacks him away, but can't follow up with the kill. There's so much disarray going on as he leaps around, can't quite find the targets to identify.
Primal Rage saves him.
Yeah, forces out the Primal Rage of Miro here, who's just going to use that to lock this Ana into a corner and try to take her out. He's got the Lucio in there as well, finds Twilight. And he got to follow up for more, wants to back off, get some healing coming through. But Lunatic-Hai are just holding this corner so well.
You have to give real props to Gamsu for what he was able to accomplish there, though, regardless. Getting the health back there, forcing out Miro's Primal Rage, but as you said, the push continues, or sorry, the hold continues here for Lunatic-Hai, and the time ticks down. Not a whole lot left here for Conbox Spirit to push with. Twilight with the odd switch to Sombra here at the end, not for a Talon, perhaps just for the hacks for the picks here as they push forward.
I mean, this gives them a lot of reliability to kite back, pick up these health packs, a 200 one, especially on the right side, to keep topped off. For now, we'll just be pushing in. Transcendence yet again going to be forced out as Toby does go down, so not keeping the Lucio alive is Jae-Hong.
EMP getting closer and closer here. He's actually been able to do a lot with that health pack, as you said.
Pulse Bomb gets rid of Jae-Hong. Another Dragon Blade's going to be ready to go from Architect. He has a massive opening here. Toby does have a sound barrier to try to chew through a bit of that damage. As we do see it gets popped. The EMP does get dropped here by Twilight. Architect still dashing through, looking desperately for a kill. Won't find one, but the rest of his squad has. Several members dead on the side of Lunatic-Hai. They have to tag in onto the point to try to delay this, but you can see they're just being contained back into the spawn. 4.3 meters left to go. Self-destruct thrown down to try to zone him out. Miro goes back in dangerously low. Will be taken out as Asher finds the kill. Self-destruct thrown out. Not going to find anything, but they're still just piling in, trying to delay as long as possible. But Gamsu has another Primal Rage. They're going to pop Zumba out of the mech, and it should just be a matter of time for the completion as they keep dashing off.
They want to get it before the overtime. They're very close. Here comes Miro to try to buy time. He's got the Primal Rage. He's hacked, though, and he goes down.
Yeah, he will fall, but it's just 0.01 meters left to go here for Conbox Spirit. They will force the overtime, at least Lunatic-Hai, but they keep coming back in and not giving up.
The consistent kills coming out here for Conbox. They should be able to finish this. It's an overtime now. But Lunatic-Hai is trying their damnedest to hold on as Miro comes in again.
This is unbelievable that they've been able to extend this long, but yeah, the kills come through. The respawn timer is just way too long. That would have been the most insane hold that we would have ever seen if it was completed by Lunatic-Hai. But unfortunately for them, they do not have it. They have to push all the way to point C.
The
At
Sombra,
least there's no time bank available
the
for Conbox.
Sombra tech there at the end was really cool to see. Consistent hacking on the mobile target, stalking the Winston of Miro, stopping him from being able to do what he wanted to do best there, stopping him from escaping especially, where Winston buys time, then kites back to spawn, then comes back again, very annoying to deal with. The same with Zumba's Diva, but the hacks came in for Twilight. The big health pack on the right side that you mentioned was used consistently. This is a very well-practiced strategy by Conbox. They get the EMP off early, Architect's Dragon Blade paired with that, and you have a completed push for Conbox Spirit. So Lunatic-Hai definitely looked poised to hold there, but did not happen in the end. As we see Eska, once again, it's attack, so obviously we have to wait and see. Showing the Sombra here, pretty lackluster on defense compared to other players who've used the Sombra on this map, like Taimu specifically. Always reference him because he's had some of the best EMPs on this map. And it's going to be Twilight on his own. Not going to be running the Ana here to boost Gamsu in these team fights.
Yeah, so they want to have this Sombra for the defense, which means a lot of pressure here onto Overwatch. His positioning has to be on point. He can't get picked off on that Lucio, or else the rest of Conbox Spirit could just get stomped out of this match. So
obviously,
we'll keep our eyes on him, especially.
Yeah, and obviously Sombra's not really a traditional support. She does provide a lot of extra healing, but they're not going to sacrifice DPS for this. They still want to have the Tracer Genji with the defensive dive here. So it's going to be Overwatch. He's going to have to do a lot.
Okay.
in a moment when the pause is over.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead, throw out a pause right before the map starts, so at least we're not in the middle of some action where it can really just sway the tides of the fight.
Were we not, though? Because my favorite part of the entire match is when I watch the countdown, and I wonder, will there be a pause? And I get really hyped to Kilios as we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, now you get 2 countdowns there. The
There
one
we
to
go.
get us back out of the pause and the one to start the game. So there you go. It benefits
really happy.
you even more.
Double countdowns all the way.
I'm sure you're ecstatic.
I am. Okay, let's see what Eska gets done with his first push. Sombra versus Sombra. Translocator advantage, obviously, on the defense here. He's going to get the hack, though.
Yeah,
this shouldn't have happened.
Not hacked out by Twilight, who was playing around this flank, so really just poor decision-making by Conbox Spirit, by Twilight, on his own to not have that hacked. And now Lunatic-Hai just going to be pushing around the backside of the point like we saw from Conbox on the attack, but they're diving into the building, almost get the kill in on the Gamsu, are able to finish him off right at the end as he gets back around the gate.
Good
He will
zoning.
go down, but can they complete the cap? First tick getting ready to come through as Conbox Spirit look to retake the point.
Good zoning by Zumba. He was able to stay alive there with all the heals. It's so much peeling for his team.
Asher going low as he tries to duel this one out with Guido, finds
Nicely
him
done.
with the recall to keep himself alive. Twilight goes in, throws down the EMP, but there's not much follow-up. In fact, there'll just be an answering EMP here from Eska as they do trade a 2-for-2. Guido and Jaehong both falling. First tick, all that was acquired by Lunatic-Hai so far, looking for a little bit more as Miro goes yet again back in onto the point.
Oh.
Now barrier thrown down here from Toby.
Attempted hack there on the Toby. He fails to get it, though. That would have been so huge if he could have denied that sound barrier. Pulse Bomb is going to knock Zumba out of the mech, though. Actually, it's Sleepy Bear
Yeah, Sleepy
falls
Bear
there.
does come out, and then he's going to get knocked down as Miro just zaps him to death. Still just playing Gatekeeper, trying to keep everybody contained as Architect. Rolls out the Dragon Blade back in onto the point. Won't get any kills with it, and has to peel back as he goes down at the end. Eska able to chase him out, but yet again, the second tick is not there for Lunatic-Hai. This push is still being delayed and denied by Conbox Spirit.
It's such a long push, too. It's just so long contested. Here comes another EMP. Guido is going to get the pick onto Gamsu. This may finally be the opportunity that Lunatic-Hai has been looking for so long.
But look at that, Twilight still just keeps himself alive, has the EMP ready to go for himself now.
Here we go.
And Lunatic-Hai, they profit a little
Too
bit
late.
from their own, drops it down, will die, but is the follow-up there for the rest of his squad? Looks like the answer is going to be no. Architect goes in, finds the kill onto Jaehong, but without the Dragon Blade to follow up, won't be finding too many other kills. So the cap finally completed here by Lunatic-Hai, but well delayed by Conbox Spirit. 4 minutes, 15 seconds on the push for Streets Face.
Definitely a nice hold there. Did a lot to delay. Lunatic-Hai victorious in the end. I feel like Zumba really controlled a lot of the early part of that fight, really peeling very well so that Eska and Guido could do their work on the dive.
Okay, Architect just sniping Guido, I believe, with the shurikens.
But when you have that successful of a dive where everyone's staying alive, you have the consistent healing, you got the big health pack too. You have so much more sustain to actually keep that going for a long time. Very impressive to see Lunatic-Hai actually pull that off with the longer respawns coming in.
See how long they can stay postured this far forward. So far, high ground contention hasn't been priority here for Lunatic-Hai. You see Zumba going up there trying to disrupt things a little bit. Pulse Bomb comes down, but it's not going to find the stick. Guido not able to help take down Gamsu, but he's still playing very far forward against a team that has a Discord Orb, and he will die even with the Primal Rage.
There's the triple here on the side of Lunatic-Hai.
That's just sweeping kills.
Push it.
Pressure dashing around, making his way over to that health pack where they do have the hack, but it's still not enough. Miro takes him out in the end, and that's a very delayed team kill, but the payload will finally get moving here for Lunatic-Hai.
Well, this kind of Genji-less comp here for Lunatic-Hai, where we have Guido really showing his stuff on the Tracer, which he played much more than he did, of course, in their match against Panthera. Really working out for them so far. Twilight holds on to the EMP here, looks for the pick on to Jaehong on the high ground as well.
I mean, now he might just be dropping in for it. Actually, Jaehong goes very low and will be finished off as Gamsu goes forward. Twilight, a bit of a rough spot, can't drop the EMP as he is hacked already. Will go down, and Lunatic-Hai, even with losing Jaehong, will be trading up massively as they just work their way through Conbox Spirit with relative ease, and Jaehong, surprisingly, is swapping over to the Soldier.
Oftentimes when you hold on to these EMPs, it's really impressive and it shows a really nice awareness of the situation. But I think in this case, because of the game of chicken, so to speak, with EMPs, holding on to it there might have actually cost them big. As yeah, a very rare DPS here from Jaehong. We've seen him play attack Widowmaker here, but never the Soldier.
Pulse Bomb thrown down by Guido, gonna go wide, so doesn't find the stick, doesn't find the kill. As it dashes way out to safety as Toby falls on the other side of the fight. So it might be a temporary little halt here on the push, especially as Eska and Guido both go down. Beihong poking in, trying to find this kill in on Architect. One more hit would do it, but there's the right click to finish him off. Miro follows up, avenging his former healer, but won't be finding much more than that rollback now starting to come through on the payload. It was just 3.2 meters away from point B. And you gotta say, Conbox Spirit, fantastic delay tactics so far. Minute and a half left on the clock, and Lunatic-Hai have to go to the distance.
It's so unusual. I know Eska's really good on the trace. We see him a lot, but because Guido is here now, he's on the Sombra, and Ryu Jae-hong is forced to play the Soldier. An unusual setup here. Eska leads with the EMP, met by another one here, so everybody's hacked in this hack party.
Here from Twilight, but Guido actually going to help follow up the kill there on Nagamsu. They get Architect and Sleepy Bear is popped out of the mech and should be going down momentarily. Twilight and the Baby Diva do go down now. There's nothing really to stop that payload from being completed. Gamsu can't get there in time, having just respawned. So they get the point B, but it's 2 minutes, 25 seconds for them to complete this push.
This says a lot about Ryu Jae-hong's hero pool here, being able to flex into the Soldier in this situation and doing
really
a great
staggering.
job. This push continues, but it's still a long way away. 2 minutes and 12 seconds left for Lunatic-Hai. They've got a lot of ultimates to use here. They don't have the EMP. They have it more than Twilight does, just for the moment at least. But this is just so odd to see Ryu Jae-hong on the Soldier, but they make it work here with a triple DPS attack.
Oh, they didn't notice Asher. So they don't know that he's just dropping in above, drops down that pulse bomb, but still doesn't have the stick, even with all the sneakiness in the world. But Sleepy Bear pushing forward is enough to take out Toby, so they still kill the target that they had in mind. A decent little hold sticks to come through here. A 2-for-1 in favor of Conbox Spirit as they look for more. Eska getting chased down, is hacked out, will be finished off by the boot from Sleepy Bear. And Zuppa knocked out of the mech in a very rough spot. Minute and 30 on the clock here. Lunatic-Hai as they keep trying to push forward. They've rounded the final corner, but they need to close the distance.
They have an ult lead, but that could all be shattered by Twilight's EMP. We'll see who gets it first. Eska's
going in. Guido chases forward with him and they take out Asher.
Okay, his EMP comes up first for Twilight.
Miro was not affected. Could pop that Primal Rage. Does so. Has not done so yet. Attack Visor comes out there from Jae-hong. Gamsu and Jae-hong.
Eska's unable to use his EMP in this fight, which means he can't actually find the follow-up here.
Yeah, we're going all over the place, so things are just getting a bit muddled here as Conbox Spirit continues to get the hold. They kill Miro at the end. Didn't use the Primal Rage. We'll have it for one final push as they're nearly have 6 ultimates. Jae-hong swapping back over to the Transcendence will delay that a bit further. But with no Dragon Blade there from Architect, there's not that much to fear in that regard.
Okay, so a large amount of ultimates build up here for Lunatic-Hai again. This time they're going to use Eska's EMP. Finally, they get it down. They should be able to push this through.
That's going to be the self-destruct thrown out here. Doesn't find anything, and Overwatch is going to be the first one to fall. They get Architect as well, so big openings here for Lunatic-Hai, but then losing Miro with the Primal Rage could very well cost them for the delay, for getting people cleared off of this payload. There's a couple more meters to go, 12 more. And they could tie this one up. It's likely going to have to be in overtime. Twilight has the EMP ready. Will jump up with the translocator, throws it down, dies right off the bat. It's still several members dead on the side of Conbox Spirit. 3, 4 now, waiting to respawn. Architect will go down. Gamsu follows suit. Asher going to try to dash back in to contest this one, but Lunatic-Hai will get the completion in overtime.
And they win this off of hero flexibility. Guido, of course, now finding his roots back on the Tracer. You have Eska starting out on the Sombra, playing it for the first time ever, finding success, good hacks, and giving Twilight a real run for his money. Sometimes Twilight got the leap on him, had the edge on him in terms of EMP usage, but always Lunatic-Hai had the better ult economy. I think that's the big story here. They had a large time bank, and sometimes they lost like 3 teamfights really at the end of that, trying to force it in for the completion, but Conbox Spirit just ulted very heavily, used several with the EMP, and when the fight went wrong for Lunatic-Hai, they didn't commit anything else, and eventually they were the ones that had the ult advantage and shoved through. Eska holding onto that EMP a bit longer there at the end. So really good to see Twilight back on the Sombra. Exciting to see the man who kind of made this meta, at least started it to make it more mainstream, starting from promotions. But Eska, on his first time, looks really good too. He's sliding.
It's an interesting spot.
Well, I mean, Toby's a good Lucio. Probably why he's picked for World Cup. You have to imagine.
Yeah.
It wasn't just because he's really handsome and one of the more famous players on the team. It's just his Lucio is so good.
All right, well, here we go. Minute on the clock for each of these squads. Conbox Spirit starting things off on the attack, still running the same composition. Asher on that Tracer, Architect on the Genji, but they need one swift take. Try to build up as much percentage as possible in order to take this map and tie up the series. Otherwise, Lunatic-Hai looking at that match point for the victory here on Hollywood. Oh, come on, he's trying to shoot the Tracer. Stop body blocking.
That's
Zumba.
the worst feeling ever when you're the Ana. Okay, Kongdoo dives into the back here, finds a good angle, really nice shield as well. Nice targeting here.
Yeah, they take out Toby and already nearly have that first hit coming through. Kongdoo going back in onto the point to finish off anybody that he can find. But Miro still very healthy. Will help gatekeep that enemy Winston off the point.
Eska goes down.
Contesting. So does go down, as you say. Architect dashes his way through, despite the fact that he has had a sliver of HP. He is still alive, and the first tick has been achieved here for Conbox Spirit, and it's rapidly going up. Asher tossing out the pulse bomb, not going to find anything, but they might just have the cap here. Lunatic-Hai, look like they're just going to give this one away, and Zumba will be pushing in, has that nano boost in onto him.
Okay, Eska's almost at the EMP, doesn't want to buy enough time to get that EMP out, but he gets taken out here, not available for this fight. That should almost certainly be the cap here for Conbox Spirit in overtime.
Yeah,
there
they're
it
able
is.
to get it. And now they have to stick to this payload like glue, but already getting the cap with just a minute on the clock is so crucial for them to find victory here on Hollywood. Lunatic-Hai have several ultimates to try to stop this push from coming through. We'll see how they want to approach this one, because they need to stop this push very quickly.
And they do so. The tools they have available are many. They have the pulse bomb to drop, they have the self-destruct, which is really powerful when paired with the EMP, so you might see that be the way to just knock them off, to tick down the overtime, as it's basically going to move at light speed for how long they've been on this point. Guido starting the approach, trying to force out that defense matrix first before they go into this engage.
We heard the primal rage pop there by Kongdoo. Eska still has that EMP
There's
ready to
EMP.
go. Throws it out as a self-destruct hits, but it's not going to find anybody. Meanwhile, Zumba with his own takes out Asher, but it's still not enough to get them off the cart. Miro now having the primal rage, playing with fire, trying to go as low as possible before he pops it. Wants to knock them all off and just force this out. Sound barrier comes down, pops the primal rage. Sleepy Bear knocked in out of the mechs as that nano boost comes through in onto Kongdoo. He can stick around for a
Architect's
while.
Dragon Blade though, he's gonna get some kills here.
Goes
Toby's
into the
the
back
first.
line, takes out Toby, finds Zumba as soon as he gets knocked out of that mech, follows up for a final one onto Guido. And just like that, Lunatic-Hai, the team kill is completed, and Conbox Spirit just keep on moving.
It's rolling, man. They used a lot of ultimates for that, but Lunatic-Hai used even more. Eska was on his way to another EMP, stopped in his tracks around 65% though, as a chair is even going with this payload. It's out of control. But Conbox Spirit has the lead now. They also have Primal Rage to buy further time. This is such an amazing push for them.
And that was all the ultimates there from Lunatic-Hai. A couple close there as the EMP is about there from Eska. Will now have it.
Zumba's going to have another self-destruct with this. Perhaps that's the pairing again they try to go for. Here it is.
He goes ahead, drops that one down. Tries to get the kill in under Architect, but cannot find it. Sleepy Bear gets knocked out of the mech, but Guido falls.
Here's the self-destruct.
You find Asher. Self-destruct, as you say, going to be blocked out by the payload, so no kills to be found for Zumba.
Not using it with the EMP, wanting to use them separately here, but they do get the mech advantage here.
And Zenith comes down. And Architect, Discord Orb onto him, is able to kite back successfully. Now is the recipient of that nano boost. He just tries to build up for that Dragon Blade very rapidly. He's getting too many hits in, now has it available, draws it out. He's going to be looking for the kills. Can he find Toby? One slash would be enough to finish him off, but instead he's going to go ahead and get rid of Zumba. Jae-Hong has already fallen as Asher finishes him off. Sleep Dart in onto Toby. He goes down. The push keeps going, and Conbox Spirit, they're going to get point B.
There is no stopping this payload. They've got the battering ram chair here to push their way through this one. Doors open, and Lunatic-Hai, momentum is absolutely against them now. We're going to see the Sleep Dart come in here again. Jae-Hong's done. That's another pick. That's another desync spawn. This is an incredible push. Remember, Lunatic-Hai also only has 1 minute for their push. They're going to have just as miraculous of a push. That is, even if they can take the first point. I mean, this is just salt in the wounds right now for Lunatic-Hai.
And this is absolutely insane by Conbox, a performance that we never would have anticipated from them, even against a lesser team, and let alone against the likes of Lunatic-Hai. Self-destruct thrown out by Sleepy Bear, not going to find much as they keep trying to round this final corner and get that completion. It would be a massive statement to be made by Conbox if they can complete the map yet again.
Okay, Asher here looking for a pulse bomb. Hack comes in here with it. Doesn't find a kill with that pulse bomb, but they have the sound barrier. Lunatic-Hai do to help sustain through this. This might be their opportunity, finally, to stop this push.
Architect and Twilight go down. Sleepy Bear popped out of the mech. Not going to be finding anything in the self-destruct from Zumba. Won't be claiming any lives, so Conbox Spirit will be pushing back in to try to get back onto the payload. They get knocked away for a second, but Kongdoo's able to tag back in, has the Primal Rage to keep himself postured forward. The rest of the team getting ready to join in, but the Pulse Bomb finishes them off. If they step off of this for even a second, even half a second, Conbox Spirit will be stopped at the push, but you have to say they've done so much work already. It just doesn't even damn well matter. That will be it in the end. But 2 points nearly around the final quarter. Conbox Spirit exceeded all expectations.
With a 1 minute overtime push, 1 minute to cap the point, and nearly push, they nearly push all the way to completion with this. As it felt like Lunatic-Hai started getting desperate, they were throwing out Hail Mary ultimates that were not coordinated. The thing that we saw several times was the EMP comes in with no follow. We talked about the strength of Zumba coming in with the self-destruct with the EMP because no defensive ultimates could be used, but they were never used in conjunction. The first time they used it, it felt like they were trying to make it a combo, and it was just so poorly timed. The second time, they just didn't use it together at all. It was like they just hadn't either considered it or they didn't want to use it that way. Those were tools they had in their arsenal that they didn't actually pull to fruition. So now, as miraculous as that push is for Conbox Spirit, Lunatic-Hai has to do just the same, then they have to do better. It's going to be so difficult. For Lunatic-Hai, they're probably already thinking about what map they want to pick for Assault, because this is a miracle situation. I will eat my hat, I will eat your shoes, Achilles, if they can pull this off. It would be insane.
I'm gonna buy a new pair of shoes for you to eat because I rather like the ones that I'm wearing. But
okay,
your bet has been accepted, Wolf.
I mean, as long as they belong to you and I eat them, the bet is on. So you can get some cheap ones at Payless if you like.
All right.
Korean Payless. Just,
I'll get something that pulls apart very easily, so it's easier for you to devour them.
I mean, I didn't say how I was eating them. I'm gonna cook them first. So.
All right. Well, I would hope so. Eating raw shoe.
Not the way.
Definitely not the way you do it. But all right, here we go. The attack coming through now from Lunatic-Hai. Gonna be yet again the Sombras on either side. Eska still sticking to that one, and Keto in onto the Tracer. Gets found out, takes quite a bit of damage, forces out the recalls. He dashes back, tries to get over to that health pack, but surprise, it is gonna be hacked.
Surprise, surprise, as the Sombra war continues here. Nice position here for Eska, actually, to get a lot of damage, build a lot of charge, up to 34.
Really boxed that one up, didn't have the dasher, but already we're at 20 seconds. First tick hasn't been completed here from Lunatic-Hai. Will be an overtime situation as that EMP does get dropped out here by Twilight. He falls right off the back, but as does Eska. So Lunatic-Hai will not have an answering EMP to try to take this point. A 2 for 2 so far as Conbox Spirit still maintains control over the point. And with 5 seconds ticking down, Lunatic-Hai are gonna have to get into this one. You know, 83% here on the ultimate. Jumps into the building, goes low, will fall down. Asher finds the kill. And honestly, Conbox Spirit might just be able to hold this before that first tick even comes through.
Okay, here comes Sleepy Bear back into the point. He's nowhere near his self-destruct, unfortunately. Architect's gonna have Dragon Blade if they can hold until then. Toby, of course, got the double. Here's the EMP finally coming down from Eska.
Finds Kongdoo. Sleepy Bear knocked out of the back and does get taken down. Can they complete this? Is the question. Second tick about to come in as Guido goes far forward, gatekeeping as best as possible. Finishes off Oporochi. And it seems like Lunatic-Hai are keeping the hopes alive, at least for now. The completion will be there. But again, all the way through to the studio, around that final corner is where they need to get to.
Do you believe in miracles, Achilles?
Do you believe that you can actually eat a shoe and a hat?
I'll have to look that up on WikiHow before I try it. We'll see. Zumba's going to have the self-destruct now. Eska far away from the EMP, but Conbox doesn't really have a massive ult economy lead right now. They are going to have that first EMP, though, which is super important, because that could just be the one push they need. Kongdoo with Primal Rage might be able to finish it up. Again, really good Transcendence coming up first from Rio Jong. You always want to do it before the EMP. Here's the EMP afterwards, though. Now the healing is missing.
Let's drop it down. That's the sound barrier out there from Conbox Spirit. They're already fighting too as Architect draws out the Dragon Blade, slashing away, trying to find some picks. Doesn't really find too much for his trouble and has to get zoned back because of that self-destruct. And Zumba finds a double kill. Sleepy Bear and Kongdoo both get taken down. So Zumba paying for that one with his life. Still trades up quite a bit. Pulse Bomb not going to connect his Miro.
Super
tries
low.
to delay. Will get taken down, and now it's all on Keto.
They have to use sound barrier. They have to make this work.
Yeah, they pile back in. 3 members against the world. The payload actually starts moving as Conbox Spirit kites back a bit. Want to maintain their lives.
That was a razor-thin defense for Lunatic-Hai to hold on to the point there. They were just barely able to get back in time. Miro really doing the work there in terms of buying time as Jaeyoung switches back in onto the soldier.
Gets taken down. Kongdoo trying to open something up, looking for that tack visor. as Lunatic-Hai gets ready to approach point B.
Here we go, Eska is coming in. Gonna have that EMP in just a moment. They're 2/3 of the way there. Just gotta keep up the momentum. Gonna hold on to it for now. Jaehong gets that
is
pick.
dead. That's a nice little pick off there from Jaehong, but the contest now coming through here from Conbox Spirit. They want to go ahead and stifle this right here, right now. Sound barrier down. Jaehong picked off the first one to fall on the side of Lunatic-Hai.
EMP not really well placed.
Yeah, it's not really getting them much. Zumba able to pop out Sleepy Bear, able to take down Oporochi. They will be trading Lucios as Toby goes down. Twilight finishing him off, but Lunatic-Hai still decently healthy as they try to stick in on the point. But
Miro goes down before Primal.
Actually does find him, and now it's just Zumba. He's all on his lonesome in the mech, trying to stay alive. Pulse Bomb comes down.
He's down.
Taken out.
That's it.
That's it. Conbox Spirit will have the defense. They will have the hold. Hollywood goes over to them. They're going to tie up the series 1-1, and Wolf, you are safe. You do not have to eat a shoe nor a hat.
No, not eating it. No shoes, no hats. But Lunatic-Hai going to be frustrated with this one. The miracle push they had to push against there. They just got hammered, hit over and over and over again. Better control of the health packs there on defense by Conbox Spirit. Then also the better just overall play in terms of pushing on the point, the better ult economy. Eska's last EMP really didn't hit the mark, and I think they were trying to commit in that moment. It was also really cool to see the bait out by Twilight to actually get that extra transcendence to be used early by Jaehong. He fake used the translocator because it's actually a technique that every Zenyatta needs to know in this meta is, okay, he's about to drop down the EMP, I need to use Transcendence first.